Hi, I'm Marnie Pearson, and I'm here with Dr. Linda Miles. And Dr. Miles is the author of the new book, Change Your Story, Change Your Brain. And she also has a book called The New Marriage, among others. I recommend you check her out on Amazon. And I've known Dr. Miles for years and have really learned a lot from her about relationships. And today we're going to be talking about how to get through the holidays a little better. And in particular, we're going to be asking Dr. Miles about what kind of behaviors show up in families and dynamics that cause problems during the holidays, and what can we do to cope with those. So Dr. Miles, thanks for letting me talk to you about this today.
Thanks for having me, Marnie. Really appreciate it. The behaviors that are a problem, very often, Marnie, what happens is people get into automatic behaviors that they've done. And if the family's dysfunctional, you can just get swept up in them. And it can be very, very unconscious. I have so many clients tell me they just freeze or they want to fight. They're automatically in a fight with their family. So the first thing I'd say is don't just react, be proactive. And a slogan I use with my clients is that hysterical is historical. So often when we get over the top about something, it's because of our history and what's happened. So for example, maybe you were put down as a child. Maybe you were criticized too much. And then somebody makes just a little small critical remark that sounds critical to you, and you go berserk. Well, it's not that common as much as it's historical to you. That is dangerous, but it's also an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to say, okay, what is it in me that whacks out over this? And then you can work on that, okay? Instead of focusing on the other person. Now, I kind of want to use an acronym to give people some guidance about what to do over the holidays, what not to do and what to do, okay? And the acronym is CARES. CARES, which is what we ought to be doing during the holidays, right? Care?
Yep.
I think that's, okay. Well, that isn't always what happens. Have you noticed? Okay. So the C stands for compassion, and that is putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Okay. For example, Marnie, my mother lost her dad at a very early age, and it was during the Depression. And so she gets kind of emotionally frozen. And I want so much for her to just respond to me emotionally. And I can get very upset and work so hard to get her to respond. It helps when I can put myself in her shoes and think, you know what? She was 7 years old. She got terrified. She shut down. So if you can look at your family's history and why they got the way they did, it helps you disengage from it. And just remember that forgiving is not forgetting. It doesn't mean that you forget, but it means that you don't expect things that aren't going to happen. So C is really compassion. It's putting yourself in the other person's moccasins, okay? A is for acceptance, and that is accepting people how they are. That doesn't mean that you decide to hang around them. And I tell people, if you are with your family and they're doing dysfunctional things, it's time to go for a walk, or it's time to do something else. I had a client once who went home for the holidays, and she had like 5 brothers and sisters. And we had worked so hard on what I call loving detachment. And that is when someone in the family was loving to her, she was loving back. When they weren't, she detached. She didn't get attached to it. So her dad was a really bad alcoholic. So she went home and he set all the other siblings off. They would just all be like historical, historical. And she was calm. So they finally said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "I've accepted that he is who he is. And I'm not going to put my energy into this." We do not have to go along anymore with dysfunctional behavior. That's the A. The R is taking responsibility. Honestly, I have seen so much of this in 40 years as a therapist, where the dysfunctional families blame each other all the time. It's so and so's fault because the turkey isn't cooked right, or why did you get me this when I wanted that? And they call each other names like, oh, they're slouchy or lazy or whoever. And that stuff just gets passed around. Healthy families don't do that. They take responsibility. You know what? It's messy. We hurt each other's feelings. Like one time I got my daughter-in-law a big Clinique thing, makeup, and they wrapped up one that was for oily skin, and it hurt her feelings. And that's the kind of thing in a dysfunctional family that could turn into World War III. You think I've got bad skin? Da, 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 da. Instead of, it was a mistake. And I told her I was sorry, and I would go and exchange it. And I felt horrible, Marty. She doesn't have oily skin, she's not prone to breakouts and blemishes. But there's the difference between healthy and unhealthy families. So there's a taking responsibility. There is an expectation that things are going to be a mess. It's like, let's face it, it's not a Hallmark card. And I tell clients, it's like if you cook one meal in the kitchen as a family, you just think about how much mess that is. Well, then you think what kind of mess it's going to be for the holidays when everybody's around. So you expect that, and you adapt. Healthy families adapt. They do something different. If it's not working, they say, you know what? We're all tired. We're not doing anything tonight. We're going out. We're going to a place where they've already got it all made for you. And we're just going to go to the bar and get it all off there, the salad bar, whatever. So they're flexible. That is one of the major differences between dysfunctional families and healthy families. Healthy families are flexible. If it's not working, can it? Don't keep doing the same stupid stuff, which people can do for 50, 60, 70 years. And the S is stress management. If you're getting too stressed out around your family, it's time for a walk. It's time to get on down the road. It's time to go visit a friend that you love. It's time to go to the beach or get some time in nature. Timeouts, really important. So that cares, just remember cares, and hopefully that will help people cope better when there's dysfunction, which there's always some over the holidays.
Okay, great. And people can pick up your book, Change Your Story, Change Your Brain, which is all about this kind of mindfulness, right? And
it's a lot of the principles that we're talking about. And they can get it on Amazon, or I think they have to order it through Barnes and Noble or one of the other bookstores, but they can order it.
Yeah. All right. Good deal. All right. So visit Linda at drlindamiles.com. All right.
Yep.